Bored.
Yep. Boredom can be a bit of an enemy to learning, can't it? I love that.
And that can be one of the things that stops us learning. You know, when you become bored, when you've reached that learning plateau where "Oh, I'm doing this again, or do I have to do this journey again and again and again? It's so boring."
So there's a couple of aspects to this, isn't there? There's two. There's one is the learning, and one is potentially doing a boring journey. So let's look at both of those.
So boredom in learning. So this can happen many times. It could be that you want to do something, but you haven't got the skills just yet to be able to do it. But you don't really want to do what you need to do to get to that point. And it just feels a little bit tiring to do the same thing over and over again. And that can create a boredom. And when you get to that boredom point, are we actually learn? Are we taking in that information? Do we want to take in that information? Has the brain and the body just gone, I can't be bothered?
Yeah, learning definitely slows down when you're bored. But like Kev said, sometimes you need that repetition to get the practice in, to get the skills to where you need to be. So, are there ways that you can make it more interesting? Are there ways that you can relieve the boredom while still doing the practice? Or is it a case of could you be challenged just a tiny bit more with what you need to do and still get that practice in there? Because if you can be slightly stretched, slightly challenged with the task so that you need to put that focus and attention in, then the learning kicks back in and we relieve the boredom.
So let's look at it from a point of view from someone that drives to work. And what happens is you drive the same route at the same time for the same 5 days. You see the same cars. It can be very monotonous and boring. But what happens when that happens to you as a person? Well, are you aware? Are you aware of what's happening around you? Do you start switching off from the driving task and start thinking about, when I get to work, I'm going to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get a coffee first. I'm going to do this. You're not actually thinking of the driving task, because what happens is nothing happens normally.
Yeah. So, can we find ways of keeping our attention and our focus on the road, on the task of driving? And then, if you're doing a long journey, then can you break the journey up, having regular breaks, regular stops, changing the pace a bit so that you are not having stretches of hours and hours and hours of driving where you go into a boring, monotonous zone. So breaking that journey up.